Boom, what's up, everybody? What's up, Art, Fabio? What's up, Eric, Brian? What's happening, Dustin, Ernie, Scott, Second Scott, Johnny Kerr, Larry Enright, Roger, Tommy Weber? What is up, Robert? What's going on, everybody? I was going to get a bunch more of you on here if it's cool. This way we can talk to a lot of people. I want to share some great insights with a lot of you tonight. Some things that were on my mind. I was actually going to do a video the other day and I didn't have a chance to do it. I was busy doing some other stuff, you know? So I figured, well, what the heck? Tonight's a good night. Jason, what's happening? Christine, what's up? Michelle, Robert, what's going on? Kelly, what's happening? Dwayne, halfway to the elk hunt. All right, brother, be safe out there. Larry Enright, call me tonight too, brother. I guess it's early where he's at, right? John, what's going on? Steve Dario, John, what's going on? So, it's training tonight, and first off, my son trains most of the martial arts in the dojo out there, and he's got students he's been training, and they are kick-ass. They are doing amazing out there. So normally I'll jump in there for half class, crank it out a little bit, do some either grappling or jujitsu or weapons or weapon defense, whatever we're doing, and I like to go jump out there and do some stuff. So as I was out there, I was thinking about some things. How many of you, give me a big old boom if you watched the fight the other night, the Conor McGregor fight and stuff. Tell me if you watched it and what your thoughts. And sorry if I'm burping on this thing, but I'm drinking this protein. I'm drinking this protein. So I watched that fight, which was an awesome fight. Habib or whatever his name is, he just dominated, tactician, skilled, just really, really great fighter. And then of course, Fabio, your son is a black belt? My son's a 3rd degree black belt, and he's been training since he is since he's literally 6 months old. So he's as close to the American Ninja you could get. I used to bring him out, Fabio, out into my dojo in a bassinet, and then he used to crawl around the dojo as throwing people. My son is deadly wicked at Shorin Karate, all the Okinawan weapons, Daitaru Jiu-Jitsu, 3 years of Muay Thai, trained in Sistema, and tons of knife training. He's like 6th level with Hank, not Hank, with the other guy's name is forget, it slipped my mind, but also Hank Hayes, he's certified with. Yeah, so yeah, if anybody out there is in New Jersey and you want to enter a dojo that's just super special, not big in commercial, where he's so Steve, he would be so coming after your ass if he heard that. And if you're looking, no, Steve, what's it like? Really tell him. But if anybody's looking to train in a dojo, which is going to be part of what I'm going to talk about. So these guys fight, and like Jason says, and you never know what's real or not. I could tell that, you know, that guy's character was attacked. But in the end, you got to remember this. What's up, Trevor? In your own business, is that it all comes down to reputation. It all comes down to reputation. And the problem with a lot of these guys, these fighters, these boxers, these Mike Tyson and these type of people, is that, you know, what do they say? You could take the dog out of the junkyard, but can't take the junkyard out of the dog. is these guys, very few of them, I mean, you have a lot of them, the Muhammad Ali's and stuff like this, but very few of them evolve on the other levels. So they evolve on the fighting concept, but they haven't evolved on the theory of going from, you know, sword fighter to samurai or to emperor. So the transition never goes there. Some of the guys do, some of these world-class boxers and basketball players. And I think that guy that they call the Beast I just thought that was the most pathetic, disgusting fight that I ever saw. Because, like, are you kidding me? That Russian guy, like, stopped, like, because he kept holding his eyes, like, didn't even hit him. He should have beat that guy down. That should have never been a loss. And then the guy can't breathe. He takes his pants off. And it just got me to think, what's up, Disney? What's up, Deb? That, Scotty, what's going on? When it comes down to the end of it, everything in life is going to come down to this reputation. What are you known for? You know, what is and it could take one person to tarnish a whole team, to tarnish a whole company. It could just take one person. You see it in the media all the time, which is so jacked up anyway, but you see how, you know, who was it? Rosie O'Donnell? Like, you say one thing, you're tarnished. You're tarnished, and now you're bad goods, and you're trying to do it. And this happens in every single industry out there. This happens. So that's part one. You better guard your reputation. They failed, and I want to know from you, where do you think they failed on UFC night? What do you think was the epic thing that was forgotten out of the whole thing? Why did that bullshit at the end happen? What do you think was missed? Like, what went totally wrong? Because I look, in hindsight's 2020, but I saw what was being missed. Because the whole show, I was telling my son, like, they have so much security here. What is going on that they need that much damn security there? There's a real problem, right? It's almost like the, what was it? The Boston Marathon bombing. Like, it just happens that they had all that security the day before and everything, you know? It's like, it makes you wonder whenever you see, what's up, Dan? A whole lot of security kicking around. You got to say to yourself, something's going to happen. What does this say? We had a customer threaten to badmouth us the other day. Totally uncalled for, but I handed it as a warrior and asked what he needed to make it right. $50 saved us from reputation. I know it's crazy, right? That is the heat of the moment. How could they predict that? The culture of Khabib doesn't understand showmanship, hype, took it personal. Yeah, so here's the thing that was missing. The thing that was missing was the conversation with Khabib and said, look, let me explain. Like, I would have had a conversation with him, and I said, look, I get it. I want you to have the eye of the tiger. I want you to fight out there with all the hate in your mind and heart if you want. But I want you to know one thing, okay? I want you to know one thing, that in the end, okay, in the end, your reputation and how you're going to be looked at will be judged by your very next actions. So make sure your actions are what you want them to be. And if that's what you choose, if you don't care to be a kamikaze and dive bomb, then that's fine. That's cool. If he was fine with it. It doesn't make everything else is right. But the fact to go and say, yeah, you know, McGregor, he badmouthed me, and this, it's like, what? It's like that whole, you know, sticks and stones will break my bones. I mean, in school you can't get away with it. In public you can't get away with it. And all of a sudden, because I get it, it's bad stuff. You shouldn't, look, there's three things I always tell people, like, there's a couple things that you don't do. One, be careful of politics, religion, and sports. I think all of these at one time probably caused a war, except maybe sports, but politics and religion have caused a lot of it. And people hold true to their heart their feelings and what's going on. He's going to pay for that. Yeah, I don't think, look, I don't think he cares, because I was talking about it in the dojo tonight, Scotty. I said, one person, Conor had no money. And when someone gets the taste of money, I know a lot of people, look, there's a lot of big people you guys follow that, that get a taste of money. Doesn't matter if it's the Grant Cardones or whatever it is. A lot of big gurus out there. They never had nothing. They get a taste of money, and it changes the human. But the thing is, they have the hunger for the money, but they haven't really evolved how they are as a person for that money. So you get Conor, and it's like, I never had money, and you never want to go back because it's all about the money. That's all you live for. You get a guy like this Khabib guy, he's like, you kidding me? What does he care? He's not running around. He doesn't need the Lamborghini. He doesn't care. He's a fighter. He's from Russia, different, built as a machine. These guys are built different. And, but what could have stopped everything was, you better understand what reputation you want. Because you could be the best in the world, and one move can tarnish you and make everybody, you ever notice that? Like, I had an employee one time, he messed up something, and he taught me a big lesson. Because I was just on his ass, right? You know what it's like when a guy, scratches, screwdriver falls out of the pocket, maybe you don't, in the middle of a hardwood floor, and you got a 3-inch groove in the hardwood floor, and next thing you know, you can't get that groove out. You're refinishing the whole damn hardwood floor. You get it. It's bad. And I remember beating the guy up about it, like really frustrated, man. And it's easy for you to say, well, yeah, you should be. Well, the guy says to me, he goes, look, it sucks. I feel really, really bad about the hardwood floor. Like, I feel really, really bad about it. But what about, I've been doing $600,000 and $700,000 for you for the last 7 years. So I've done $4 million for you. I get it. The hardwood floor sucks. But I have a track record of doing nothing but that hardwood floor. And he said, you're ragging on me on it. And I said, look, you're 100% right. It's an unfortunate situation. We'll deal with that. But in the end, if you think about it, it's, this one thing could change everything. So I think what they needed to do, my opinion, is, and I get it. Look, I'm not in the position. I wasn't there fighting. I wasn't the one being verbally attacked. I always say this, when you're judging, you're not open to listening. So one, it's easy for us to make judgments. So I don't want to make a judgment. I want to give my feedback on how could have been avoided. But like my employee, it's like, don't look at one bad thing. But the fact is, that's how people are going to look at it. They're going to look at one bad move, and that's going to judge, that's going to judge that guy. Not the 27 wins, no losses. They won't judge him by that. They'll judge him by the one stupid decision. And, I've hired a lot of people in my day. I mean, a lot. I had 200 employees. So I always asked myself when I was doing background checks and stuff, and I always tried to look and say, sometimes a guy got caught stealing something when he was a kid. I said, the only difference between the guy that got caught stealing and the guy that didn't is the guy got caught. I mean, come on. You never stole anything. I mean, I've stole something as a kid, and I got caught as a kid. Well, I didn't get caught at the time. My mom said, where did you get this little cap gun from? And, I was honest and said, well, and I don't know if I was honest. I'm trying to remember. All I know is it was from the Krauser store on the corner. And she grabbed my ass to go back to that store and give that cap gun back, And I just remember it was pretty crazy. So the difference, so you got to kind of say to yourself, okay, people make bad decisions. And as long as they don't make them all the time, should they be judged forever for it? And then the other thing is, how can you avoid, because I always look at everything and say this, Texas, I say to myself, okay, what did I just watch? What did I just learn? Because that's what I want to know. What did I just learn? This is a really great thing, because we carry all of our stuff. What's up, Jason, Texas? And the only difference between a criminal and the cop and the cop that arrests them. Yeah, yeah. So in the dojo is the same as we did in the office. We ended the night and we said, okay, what was your big insight? What was your big learning? Because that's what I would say for you. Like for you guys right now, what did you learn by the fight? What was your big learning about it? I still remember watching UFC with you when I was young. Good old days. Yeah. And I mean, we talked about what we learned, right, Scotty? I mean, that's not a new thing for me. And Scotty knows, shit, we know each other since we're kids, little kids. Scotty knows because he used to go train in the crazy guy's house in Watchung with me. I used to drag his ass out there with that crazy nut who used to bring people to fight me and stuff. And Lou. And so if you think about this, you have to guard your reputation, okay? You have to ask, what did you learn? Let's see what Mike Disney said. Character and integrity are no longer held in as a regard anymore among the people who should be above reproach. Yeah, I think, yeah. But I think you have to have that. And then we ended off the class tonight. I was telling some stories, some old dojo stories. And I said, look, I'm going to give you guys a couple last lessons before I get off here. So lesson number 1 is a lesson my instructor, Chris Rossman, taught me. Maybe I was 19 years old. Okay, so 29 years ago. And he taught me, he said, look, I think there's a lesson in here in consistency. He said, it's not who trains today and it's not who trains tomorrow. It's who's training 20 years from now and then who trains for life. So that's lesson number 1. It's not who's building themselves, building their mind, growing themselves today or tomorrow. It's who's doing it 20 years from now. And then I was telling my son and the students tonight, I said, you know, if I was to boil it down to two things that create all success of everything, what do you guys think is the 2 things that I'm pretty sure, if you have these 2 things, and only these 2 things, it changes the game forever. And as easy as it is, it's hard, right? It's like meditation. As easy as it is, my instructor taught me one night, is I'm going to teach you the most profound thing that you've ever learned from me. It's going to be the most powerful thing that I ever teach you. And it's going to be so easy, it's going to be fucking hard. He didn't say fuck. He said hard. I added that in to dramatize a little bit. And he taught me meditation. He's like, yeah, it's so easy. Anyway, so let's see if we get integrity and consistency, discipline, okay, action and consistency, dedication, hard work. What's up, Koi? 2 secret ingredients, honesty and dedication, drive and mindset, perspective, grit, and the ability to learn. Okay, I'll give you my 2 things that I learned. And I learned it from a very young kid because I started learning martial arts when I was 14. And from 14 to 18, I trained. But then I got real serious. Well, no, I trained it at 12, I started. At 14, I got real serious. After I got beat up by a bunch of gang members, which most people don't even know, back in vocational school, I had a whole bunch of gang members, 5 of them. I was late for school. They were waiting for me. And 2 of them pulled me against the wall, held my arms back, and then the rest took their chances and just whooped up on me. They didn't break me, but I felt it for days after that. I definitely felt it. But I made a commitment that day that before that shit happens to me again, you better kill me dead. So I've trained since then, okay, which is now 34 years. I have not stopped training. But along the way, I learned these 2 things and what I learned is you don't have it and then keep it forever. You have to get it and hone it forever. And you ready for it? The first one is focus. There's just no substitute for it. I mean, how am I able to sit here with you now and do this video and I just got done training, and I got done doing some stuff with my wife before, and how can I do this? Because I'm focused, and I have something that I'm going to read, and I got my magic pen here, one of these multicolored pens to read it with, which I don't know if I'm going to get it done, but I'm going to start reading. So focus is number one, and I was telling them out in the dojo, like, if you have focus, because I'm not really that good at a lot of stuff. Like, there's a ton of things. Like, I have this new software that I'm prototyping, and this software helps. It will help the companies we're working with in CEO Warrior. This software will help track their progress in a very scientific way. It's this new intense software. But like, I have to study this thing because I'm not so good at electronics, so I have to read it multiple times, and I have to touch it and break it and watch videos. It's not something that comes super easy to me, the electronic world. Most of the time I have 42 roundabouts to get where some people learn how to hit a couple buttons. But I have intense focus to figure it out. Okay, you ready for number two? Number two, what's up, Justin, is discipline. That's it. I narrowed it down tonight when I was talking to him. I said, look, if you have endless focus and you have discipline to focus on something, and you put the combination of those two together, that is the number one thing. If I could give any gift to anybody, now I'm not giving you how to do it, and I can help you with that, but if I was to tell you the two things that solve all things, everything, if you just stay focused and you're disciplined in just staying focused, running the course, doing the things, learning, disciplined in listening better, disciplined in communicating versus, lashing out, disciplined in your eating habits, disciplined in, how you train, disciplined in when you get up, discipline. If you just, I win half. You did. You got half of it, brother. Good job. And it's probably the half you didn't get that maybe you need. I don't know. You'll have to tell me that one. But if you look at this, if you have focus and discipline and you're relentless at it, it will change. So the question is, how the hell do you get focus now? Because everybody out there is like, if it was that easy, right? If it was that damn easy, then wouldn't everybody do it, Jeremy? My two struggles. I know, but part one is identifying the problem. We've become, as a culture, so accustomed to masking the problem instead of solving the problem. It's like you get a headache, so you take Tylenol. Well, you're not starving. Your brain's not starving for Tylenol. So all it does is mask the pain, but you didn't solve the damn problem. That's what happens with focus and discipline, right? Like okay, so here's a great example for business owners. So the paperwork piles up. So instead of putting focus and discipline to solve why the paperwork is piling up, you hire somebody because they tell you that there's too much work and the paperwork piles up. This is what I used to do in the beginning. So I would hire another person, but then the paperwork would pile up again. And they say, well, two of us can't keep up. We're growing. There's too much paperwork. And I'm like, so I'd hire another person. And we're like 3 people doing paperwork. And I'm like, so I said, I will solve this. So I stayed disciplined on the course, and I put unlimited focus on it. Unlimited focus. I just kept looking at it and saying, where does it start? Where does it end? And where are all these pieces that are broken? Where are all these things that are not working? And then, which they call, just so you know, a form of lean manufacturing. If you want to look up lean manufacturing, it's the ability to look at a conveyor belt and say to yourself, well, where is the blockages? Where are the slowdown? Where are the inefficiencies happening? And when you can look at that conveyor belt and look at those inefficiencies, you can say to yourself, well, very, very rarely, everybody, Do you need the people? You need the process to improve. You need the system to improve. What's Sean saying here? Road Warrior made focus easy. Discipline is the ongoing self-accountability I'm working on. Yeah. Discipline, just so you know, is the way to get discipline, Sean, is to understand the consequence, of not being disciplined. And if the consequence of not being disciplined is that painful, then all of a sudden you become, let me make my point. So how do you become really disciplined with your eating habits? Well, I mean, you either make a choice that what you see on TV, what they tell you about eating, makes such a logical decision that if you don't change your ways, you're going to get sick. Or two, you become sick and you're like, fuck, I'm just going to change my ways now. So you become disciplined because the pressure is so massive that you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice because if you don't become disciplined, you're going to die. And isn't that the truth? So what if we treated the discipline of what we needed to focus on, that act of doing it regularly, doing it when it has to be done, doing it responsibly, whatever it is, and focusing on it intensely. Because you know what they say, whatever you focus on expands. Well, what a lot of people don't tell you on is, I always say, is whatever you focus on expands, good or bad. Isn't that the truth? I mean, whatever you focus on, good or bad. If you focus on negative things, that shit will expand too. Focus on positive things, that will expand too. You know, so there is, it's going to grow it either way. So if you could just start saying to yourself, what is the problem that keeps me stuck, and what is the major issue that I have to focus on? Because here's the thing, I have no doubt, everybody that's on here, discipline happens when you stop bullshitting. You're saying, yeah, you're right, Ernie. I have no doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, any of you on here with discipline, if you just ran the course and you did it ferociously, relentlessly, and you did it with every bit of focus in your heart, you guys would do more than I've ever done in my life. You would exceed everything. I told them out there, the students, and I said, this is why it's very hard to compete against me. It's also the reason why, you know, we grew gold medals so fast to 32 million so quick. It's also the reason why in less than 5 years, we grew the top training and coaching organization on the planet for service industries and plumbing, HVAC, electrical, construction, restoration, remodeling, pest control, you know, appliance repair, is the reason that we did it. And it's also the reason how we've been able to, and a lot of you that have come to events that we put on, I would like to think, and you guys call me out if it's not true, if you're in the warrior world of some kind, if you came to either a Service Business Edge event or a Warrior Fast Track Academy or one of our Warrior Circle events, or you're a Centurion, or you've come to Road Warrior, Phone Warrior, Warrior Leadership, Teen Warrior, Warrior Relationship, War Planning. If you came to any of those, I'd like to think, without a shadow of a doubt, that you looked at real time or watched real time discipline and focus over every day. Tell me, give me a big old boom if that's true. If you think we demonstrate at CEO Warrior the highest level of discipline and focus. Because in order to get results for anybody, what's up, Adam? In order to get results for anybody, you have to be able to lead by example, discipline and focus. How will others teach it if they don't even just have a model to follow? You know, if they don't have a model to follow and they cannot see it real time, discipline and focus, then it's really, really hard to do it. Okay, so let's get ready to tie a ribbon on this, and then I got to get ready to read some stuff. Always, it's not an option to do anything else. I agree with you, Steve. So what do you guys do? One, you have to get serious about it. You got to get serious about focus. You have to set time aside to focus. And I know what you guys are going to say. Everybody says it. Yeah, but I get a lot of interruptions. Well, then you have to focus on controlling the interruptions. Yeah, but they barge in. Then you need to create discipline in your culture. I mean, if you just keep bringing it back to the fundamental, and I know, look, we have a lot of complex things that could help company. We have a lot of simplistic things. But in the end, if you don't master the simplistic, you can't even stack the advanced. Isn't that the truth? I mean, a lot of these gurus, consultants, mentors, and stuff like this, organizations, they want to try wowing you with the advanced, except instead of building the foundation with the simplistic. And there's a lot of these fundamental simplistic things that you have to master. You have to master these things. But let me leave you with that. Sorry, I'm late. No problem, brother. Go back and watch this. Let me leave you with this thought. One, focus and discipline is a choice. Number two, focus and discipline gets better and easier over time, but you can't stop. You can't stop that. What's up, buddy?
Make my own protein powder.
Oh, cool. What'd you make it with?
All kinds of crap.
Okay, is it a good thing to drink it tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. I can't wait to hear the recipe. So make sure as you guys focus, as you think about discipline, you have to stack it every day, and you have to make sure, okay, that you're reminded about it. What'd Steve say? Excellent execution on the basics is what wins the game. 100%. Thanks, Mike and CEO Warrior. Welcome, Justin. So just make sure, start to build your focus plan. There's a good way to get focus is get some accountability for yourself. Get some accountability. You know, electronics is an interesting thing. Electronics can help you or it can kill you, right? Like if you're just looking for the next perfect app, it's probably going to kill you. If you look for a simple, I don't have my pad here, a simple white pad and a calendar app and setting a time aside, that's all you need. So don't overcomplicate the simplistic. Let's keep it simple. Let's stay focused. Let's stay disciplined. And let's build on it every single day. And Steve, you're right. Joe better go back and watch this one. All right, guys. Love you guys. I got to get ready for some stuff. I want to read a little bit before bed. And I want to finish my protein so my muscles build before night. I appreciate you hanging. Share this with somebody. Hey, if you know anybody, we have a couple spots left for Service Business Edge. A couple spots left if anybody wants to come in a couple weeks. It's going to be badass. We got Jay Abraham coming out again, which is really, really cool. Or if you know any business owners just looking up, step up to the next level, hit me up. Let me know. Be honored to have a conversation with them. If you know somebody who's struggling in the industry, I don't care if it's a painter, appliance repair, if you just know a carpenter and someone's not doing good and they're just broke off their ass and hurting, do me a favor, get me their info. I'll send them free books to help them out. I don't want to see anybody struggle in the service industry at all. It's my mission. There's just no need for it. We all work too damn hard. All of you work your ass off. There's no reason for you not to have ultimate happiness. All right, everybody, I'll leave you with that. Stay warrior strong. Boom, stay warrior unstoppable. I'm out.